You're packing for your next cruise and not really sure what to bring, this video is for you as we share our 25 cruise essential items that we pack on every single cruise up next. Welcome aboard, cruisers, and a special welcome back to those Eat Sleep Cruise subscribers. Packing for your next cruise might feel a bit stressful, but don't worry, we have you covered. In this video, we share with you 25 cruise essential items you need to take on your next cruise, regardless of the destination, length, or region. We built this list based on our own experiences sailing on over 65 cruises throughout the world. And we'll start with one item that even some of our friends who are frequent cruisers have just discovered: magnets. Most cruise ship cabins are constructed from metal, making magnets a very handy tool for organizing your room. You can use fun magnets to decorate your door or leave notes on your cabin door. If you purchase magnetic hooks, it gives yourself extra space in your cabin. You can use them to hang towels or store bags. You can also use them to hang hats, wet clothes, or other items. Now, we typically get magnets that are 40 to 50 pound strength, but you want to avoid industrial strength magnets that will be hard to remove. Otherwise, if you can attach it to your cabin wall with a magnet, it's probably fair game. Another essential that will come in handy regardless of the cruise is a refillable water bottle. Not only is it handy to have your own water bottle, but it's better for the environment than throwaway versions. Many cruise lines are actually eliminating single-use plastics and encouraging the use of water bottle refill stations. Whether you're staying hydrated by the pool or in port, don't be without water. Consider a bottle with a built-in filtration system like a life straw that can be used in almost any situation. And that even includes sketchy airport refill stations with a blinking change filter light. Personally, we actually use Yeti water bottles, which you like because they keep beverages hot and cold depending on the type of beverage. Another cruise cabin hack to save space is to bring an over-the-door shoe organizer. Even if you're only going on a 3 or 4 day cruise, this item is essential. Of course, we will admit that we do tend to overpack, but regardless, this necessary accessory isn't for shoes. If you think outside the box a bit, an over-the-door shoe organizer can be used for so much more. Using an over-the-door shoe organizer makes unpacking your toiletries a breeze, with individual compartments for other items like suntan lotion, perfume and cologne, deodorant, and much more. All your toiletries will be neatly stored in one place without cluttering up the bathroom or your desk counter. You can also use the pockets to store other small items like sunglasses, medication, or even small electronics. Other accessories like jewelry, batteries for electronics, and other items can also be stored here. Plus, they are lightweight and easily packable. The days of unconnecting on a cruise, well, those are officially over. Modern cruisers come equipped with several devices, from smartphones, tablets, cameras, and handheld video games. And all those devices need to be charged. Don't make the mistake of grabbing a clump of wires and tossing them in a bag. Make sure you have the right chargers for each device, keeping in mind that different generations of iPhones have different chargers, and sort them accordingly. There is no one universal charger, unfortunately. And you don't want to worry about your phone, which is also your camera, and potentially your gaming system, losing juice at the beginning of your trip. Most cruise ships offer US-style outlets, and many newer ships come equipped with USB-A and other direct connections for chargers. But double check if you need an adapter on board your ship. If you're staying in a hotel before or after in a foreign country, you might need to bring one of those in addition. Keep in mind that most cruise ships do not allow typical power strips, but they do allow non-surge protected power cubes, and we always pack one of those as well. You can find a link to our preferred cruise-approved power cube in the description down below. And actually, we have a link to our Amazon storefront that lists all of these cruise essentials to make it easy for you to purchase for your next trip. And speaking of power, you don't want to forget portable power pack. In fact, you probably should bring one for each cruiser. While you can charge your devices while on the ship, but once ashore, you may go hours before you get to a location that will allow you to charge. Again, depending on what country you're in, you may need a converter for charging devices. Don't fret about losing battery power on your phone or other devices. Bring a portable power pack with you. And when doing so, we also recommend just getting additional cords for your power pack. I actually have a power pack that has iPhone and USB-C cord attached to it at all times. That way I can recharge essentially any of my devices on long bus rides or in between stops on a particular tour. You don't want to miss the opportunity of getting the best photo or video because your cell phone or your camera died. Now, this whole time we've been talking about cruise essentials that you can use on the ship or while ashore, but before you even get on board, you need to remember to pack your government-issued ID and all your cruise documents. We always recommend having a passport, even if some cruises don't require one. It's the best default ID to have with you. Even if you're sailing round trip from a US port like Miami, if you somehow miss the ship in Cozumel, it'll make your life so much easier if you have your passport on you. This will save you from having to visit a consulate to help get you home. More than any other item you bring with you, make sure to carefully read the fine print of what documentation you'll need for everyone in your party to travel. The alternative is to be denied boarding. Likewise, even if you did your online check-in and have a digital ticket, we always print backups. That way, when you get to the cruise terminal, if you're having issues with your cell phone, you don't find signal, or having issues loading the app, the print version of your boarding ticket will come in handy. Either way, as long as that boarding ticket has a barcode, your name, and the sail date, you're all set. When on board your ship, your cruise card becomes your default payment, and you can even use it on some private islands with some cruise lines. Before you board the ship, most likely you linked a credit card to your onboard account, which is then tied to your key card. Just remember to bring that credit card with you. In fact, we recommend bringing at least one other credit card just in case there's any issues. Of course, you can use that credit card for other purchases like pre- or post-cruise hotel stays or at the different ports of call. We recommend looking for a credit card without foreign transaction fees and ones that earn points on common travel expenses. And another cruise essential you have to have is cash. It is true that more and more places are accepting credit cards, debit cards, or even digital payments. But just remember, cash is king. Having cash on hand comes in super handy, especially at ports of call if you want to get a taxi real quick, want to make small purchases for items at different markets or storefronts, want to purchase a beverage or some food items, tipping, tour guides. You get the idea. Depending on the port of call, US dollars might be fine, or if you're going overseas, you can easily go to your bank a few weeks before your cruise to get things such as euros. Having a few $100s in small bills in local currency could save you tons of time and headaches. Depending on the length of the cruise, we always bring $200 to $300 of cash that we use specifically for these purposes, and that's set aside from any money we might bring on board for gaming or other large purchases. Also remember that you're going to use cash on board the ship. You can use it to tip the porters on embarkation day, as well as the crew on board your ship. Even if you prepay gratuities or are paying the daily service charge, we always recommend tipping in addition to that. Keeping all your prescription medication in a carry-on baggage is an age-old tip of travel. During your lifeboat drill, crew might also reiterate that in the event of any emergency, you should have these medicines in a handy location to bring with you if you need to abandon the ship. Though this very rarely happens. Don't worry. One piece of advice that isn't repeated as often is to bring an additional day's worth of your prescriptions with you on any cruise. This can cover you in the event of a delayed or canceled flight, or if you lose a pill somewhere along the way. It's not possible to obtain prescription medicine on board a cruise ship, and it's highly unlikely in port. Thus, bring more than you need with you, just in case. There's another item that might seem obvious, but not if your cruise is a cold weather itinerary. But regardless of the destination, you should pack your bathing suit with you on a cruise. Of course, fun in the sun in the Caribbean or the Bahamas would necessitate some swimwear, but packing a bathing suit even for Antarctica or a Canada New England cruise in the fall is also a must. Don't forget that the cruise ship will have heated pools and hot tubs on board. Some have retractable roofs in cold or inclement weather, so it could always be a pool day regardless of the weather outside. Bathing suits also come in handy for the spa, which might feature a thermal suite or therapy pools and steam rooms. And don't forget about excursions. Residents of Finland and other Scandinavian countries use saunas year-round. Likewise, an essential we always pack for a cruise, and you should too, is sun protection. No, it doesn't matter if your cruise is heading to the Arctic or the forecast calls for rain. No matter the season or the destination, the sun is out there even if you don't feel its rays. Sun protection is an essential part of packing for every cruise. Sunscreen is getting more advanced and environmentally friendly. Pack a cream that's no less than SPF 30 and look for brands like Stream to Sea that are reef safe. Not only are you protecting the fragile marine ecosystems, but you're putting less chemicals onto your body. Sun protection also extends to polarized sunglasses or those with UV blockers. You also want to bring a hat or a head covering and a rash guard or something to cover your shoulders for long days in the strong sun. Upon boarding your cruise ship, you'll be given either your key card or you'll find it placed outside your cabin. Either way, this key card is your lifeline while you're on the ship. You'll need to access your stateroom, enter and exit the ship in ports of call, and make onboard purchases. Thus, having easy access to this card is essential. Many cruisers enjoy the convenience of a lanyard. Having one that detaches at the bottom is a bonus when ordering drinks. Now, my wife Heidi actually prefers an adhesive pocket on her cell phone. Since most cruisers take their phones with them everywhere anyway, having a pocket on the phone to carry the key card and perhaps a few small bills for tips is another great option. Even if you plan to lie around on the beach, a sturdy and comfortable pair of shoes can never be underestimated on any cruise. Beyond the time you'll spend exploring each port, some cruise ships are truly massive. Honestly, you'll be surprised how many steps you get in simply walking from your cabin to the pool, the buffet, and then over to the theater. On some mega ships, we routinely clock 20,000 to 25,000 steps a day. This one may seem obvious, but it's not the time to break in a new pair of shoes or subject your feet to only very flat flip-flops for an entire week. A supportive pair of footwear will not only save your feet, but also lessen other aches and pains. If you're wandering the uneven surfaces of European cobblestone streets or hiking in the Alaska wilderness, these are even bigger reasons to pack the right shoes. A chance to washy-washy has long been present around cruise ships, with hand sanitizer dispensers mostly at the entrances of dining venues. But these days, clean hands matter more than ever. So we always pack our own travel size hand sanitizer for everyone in the group. This allows you to sanitize on the go, after handling money, touching an escalator, using the bathroom, and always before eating. In fact, we often have backup travel sizes in our carry-on bag. Not to mention, you may not always have hand sanitizer or washrooms available while on shore, so bringing hand sanitizer with you on your tours and excursions can, wait for it, be handy. It is true that cruise ships have at the very least dispensers of shampoo and body wash in the showers in your cabin. It's also true that even if you forget your own toothbrush, you could probably buy one on board. But relying on the ship for your toiletries isn't the best idea. Essential items like deodorant or toothpaste are often overpriced once you're on the ship with few other options. Generic all-in-one hair and body wash aren't the kindest to hair either. It's nice to have the option, especially if you're staying in a suite with premium toiletry brands, but default to bringing enough of your own products for a cruise. And yes, this is one the wife lives by on every single cruise. She brings all her own toiletry. Not to mention, you may not like the toiletries that the cruise line provides. You don't want soap or lotion that will drive you crazy your entire cruise because of the scent or the consistency. While we always bring a cruise carry-on bag with us at embarkation day containing electronics and other cruise essentials, we also, in our check bags, always have a day bag. This isn't part of our luggage. It's a separate backpack or tote that we use just for excursions and going ashore. Ideally, this should be lightweight and easy to pack and fold. But it needs to be big enough, of course, to hold enough content for an entire day off the ship. You want a comfortable day pack to hold your refillable water bottle, wallet, extra sunscreen, or additional items like cameras, additional layers of clothing, etc. Also, it will come in handy for carrying souvenirs in case you go on a little bit of a shopping spree. We recommend you look for a day pack that has several different zipper pockets. That way you can store different items like your cell phone or other electronics. You might have never been motion sick in your life, but it's better to be safe than sorry. There are a variety of seasickness remedies on the market, from pills and patches to bands and ginger candy. Even if you don't need to prevent motion sickness on your cruise ship, you might be taking a whale watching excursion or a snorkeling trip in a smaller boat, and this is when the meds might come in handy. The guest services desk might have some seasickness medication if you forgot any, but it's typically not the non-drowsy variety. Look into buying a small container of Bonine or the less drowsy Dramamine before boarding, and always take something before you start to feel sick. Be wary of drinking alcohol with a scopolamine patch, and above everything else, make sure to consult with your doctor first before getting any seasickness medication. Plastic bags are going the way of the dinosaur, especially on cruise ships, but having a few empty sandwich bag or larger 1-liter Ziploc bags can be useful. You can store hand sanitizer and lip balm in Ziploc bags to consolidate them before putting them in your day bag. You can also use those bags for snacks, and larger 1-liter Ziploc bags might come in handy for storing those wet bathing suits after a long shore excursion. We also always pack a garbage bag or a laundry bag. That way you can separate your dirty clothes from clean clothes during your cruise, as well as your trip home. Essentially, this bag serves as a makeshift divider in your suitcase for any items that might still be clean, so they aren't mixed in with the already worn or soiled clothes. Like a bathing suit on a cold itinerary, bringing a light jacket or a sweater, even if you're heading somewhere tropical, is also something you should bring on your next cruise. You might run hot and not want to wear it out during the day on a shore excursion, but some cruise ships are notoriously well air conditioned. You might be surprised to find a slight chill in a restaurant or the theater at night, especially after a long day in the sun. We get it. You chose your cruise line because you like to keep things casual. There's nothing wrong with being comfortable, especially on vacation. But inevitably, you might run into a formal night on board your ship, or something called a captain's welcome reception on a river ship. During these evenings, it's suggested to spruce up your attire a bit. Sure, you can ignore formal evenings altogether and head to the buffet or an alternative dining venue on a larger ship. But cruising is all about options, and you might want to keep your options open. Sometimes it's nice to clean up for a significant other and enjoy a special night out at a specialty dining venue. We always pack something respectable so you don't rule out any opportunities. Now, this doesn't always mean I pack a suit, but I make sure to have at least a sport coat and some khakis for a nice night out. Bug bites or sunburn, they will make you itch. There's not much worse than a constant nagging discomfort on vacation. Find your itch remedy of choice at home before boarding your ship, where there will be fewer options. Some might react better to a pill like Benadryl, while others prefer a topical anti-cortisone cream. A methanol-based gel can work wonders on bug bites and certain rashes as a cooling element for mild sunburn. Pack your itch relief with a small first aid kit that also includes antiseptic wipes, Neosporin, a few band-aids, and some pain relief pills like Tylenol. And yes, we carry all of these with us on every single cruise. Ships are surrounded by water, and we're all surrounded by electronics. If you plan to be spending a lot of time out on the water or near the sea on excursions or at the beach, consider purchasing dry bags. Proper dry bags used by professional boaters come in a variety of sizes and can fit an entire backpack, depending on what you want them for. A medium-sized bag should be plenty for a kayaking excursion and are found at sporting goods stores online. While that might be overkill, we definitely always have our waterproof case and additional plastic dry bags for our iPhones. These plastic bags form a seal at the top, come on a lanyard, and can hang around your neck. Plus, they're clear, so you can take a photo if you want from within the clear bag. And like all the other items mentioned, we have a link down below to our Amazon store where you can purchase lanyards, where you can find a variety of dry bags for different cell phone sizes. Sadly, only a handful of cruise ships have something that can be considered a nightlight in the bathroom. But this is the exception instead of the rule. Attempting to go to the bathroom, or do anything, in an unfamiliar stateroom in the pitch dark is a challenge that could end badly. Having a simple nightlight that plugs into the desk or vanity can give your room a little friendly light in the main cabin, while one in the bathroom can help avoid having to turn on the bright light. Everyone knows how awful blinding fluorescent lights can be when you're barely awake. Avoid waking yourself and everyone in your room with an easily packable nightlight on your cruise. Now, there's one item very specific to cruise life. In fact, I didn't know these existed until we started cruising, and those are towel clips. these plastic clips look almost like oversized clips for a bag of your favorite potato chips. Now they come in funky colors and designs like sharks, flamingos, flip-flops. The possibilities are endless. These useful clips help to eliminate the dreaded towel slide when you're sitting in a sun lounger. Just clip your towel to the top of the chair and you're all set. Not only will your towel stay in place, but everyone around you can tell that the seat is clean. Likewise, you can also purchase towel bands, which essentially do the same thing, and these do come in different patterns and different colors, but we prefer towel clips because they definitely have more personality. We'll admit upfront that we are overpackers, and I've actually gotten pretty good at estimating the weight by just picking up our luggage. But even though I've refined these skills, we always pack a luggage scale with us. This luggage scale will come in handy if you go on a shopping binge or purchase items such as alcohol or other heavy items, and you're not really sure if your baggage is going to make that 50-pound weight limit that your airline imposes. I always bring my luggage scale on the cruise carry-on because by the shape of the device and the hook, it might throw off some of the security individuals. But regardless, spending the extra $8 or $10 to have a luggage scale can save you tons of money on luggage overage fees on your flight home. And yes, we did say these are the 25 cruise essentials that we always bring on a cruise. But for our families out there, we want to remind you that you need to bring some gear for your kids. And honestly, we like to think that we're big kids at heart, so this one technically works. Kids of any age seem to require their own separate packing lists. Some cruise ships offer services that allow you to order diapers and other essentials to the ship for infants, which of course is just one less thing you need to pack. But parents of toddlers and small children know the value of keeping them busy, which might mean including things like sand toys, a snorkel mask, a kid-friendly tablet, books, their favorite plush toys, you name it. So talk to your kids about what to bring with them and make informed decisions about what's possible to pack. While there's food all over the ship, your kids may not want to eat sliced prime rib for lunch. So things like bringing their favorite snack or other items from home can be super helpful for avoiding any meltdowns or temper tantrums while on board your cruise. Now, of course, we said this is the 25 essential cruise items we bring on any cruise, and it truly is. But you also need to know that there are some cruise essentials based on your itinerary. For instance, if you're going to Alaska, the key word there is layers, including wool socks that won't absorb water and keep your feet dry, as well as a hat, and thin, water-resistant clothing for those quick costume changes, given that the temperature swings can vary 40 or 50 degrees in one day. Now, if your trip is going to Alaska, you're in luck, because we just put out our 25 expert cruise tips for an Alaska cruise. Along with packing, we cover tons of other cruise essential information you need to know about cruising way up north. From cruise planning to what to do aboard and how to spend time ashore, our 25 Alaska cruise tips will ensure your trip is smooth sailing.